Hi guys, and welcome to another video. And I am back off a holiday. So I had a week away last week up in Scotland, which was really nice. Weather was really good, and yeah, it was nice to have a break. It's been since July since I really had a break. I had one in October, but I took the dog to Scotland, so I don't. Although it is a break away from work, it's not a break away from the dog. And I've said this many times, as much as I love my dog and obviously we work together, etc., it is always nice to be able to give the dog over and have a week away from the dog and just chill out a little bit. And whilst I was away, there wasn't any issues with the dog, but I feel like there's an importance on the leads, the collars that we use and why we use them. And I think a lot of people have got certain perceptions of collars and why they're used, and if they're good or bad, whether they're for training or they're for kind of real life. And yeah, I'm just going to take you through like the collars and the leads and everything that I sort of carry on the van and the reasons to why I have them. But also, whilst I was away, in dog handling, there is obviously, you can buy everything that you kind of need, and whether it's for the van or whatever it is, you can buy it. But to keep costs down and to keep costs normal, from what I would say, sometimes you have to do some DIY, and DIY is not my strong point, but it is my dad's strong point. And we have a update to the van. So this is a box basically with some storage underneath, and as you can see, lifting up the flap, so there's 4 of them boxes, and the unit is as long as the cage, so there's lots of storage underneath. And what that's allowed me to do is be able to raise the cage and get storage underneath, being able to take everything off of the sides and just making it a little bit neater and maybe less clangy as well. Like when I have stuff hanging around the sides as well, as good as that is for storage, it kind of clanged around a little bit, and now with them boxes it's kind of quietened it down a little bit. And like I say, just being able to raise the cage as well. The dog's happy. My dad was worried that the dog wouldn't be able to get into the cage. Well, he can jump up in every time, and even the other day he went from the floor and jumped straight in the cage. So I've got a dog with good agility. Possibly an older dog may struggle to get into that, but I think being able to step on and step in, I think the dog should be fine. But for him, it's perfectly fine. There's no reason that my dog can't jump, what's that, 3.5 feet off the floor. He's perfectly fine. So the first thing is leads. So leads, I carry 3 leads. So I've got my main walking lead. I'd say the most important thing about these leads is that they have a brass connector to them. And the reason that I use brass is because I get these off of my trainer, and brass is a lot stronger metal than the kind of pet silver metals that you get. With these dogs as powerful as they are and the power that goes through the lead, there can be reasons to why they would snap, and it's not because it's possibly a bad clip. It's just a case that these dogs are doing more high power, more intense, and there's more strenuous activity going through the clip. So yeah, I use brass. They're nice and heavy as well. But yeah, so I carry 3 of them. I've got obviously my black one, which is like my normal one. I do have another black one, but this one has a separate loop down near the bottom, so that I can have the lead through my right hand, but I have a loop by my left hand. So if I want to shorten the lead up with my left hand, I can just grab onto that loop and shorten the lead right up. And then I have this lead, which used to be white, but so this lead is like my last resort lead. So if the other 2 fail, I've got this lead. On this one as well is I have this carabiner. So this carabiner is something I got off the girlfriend that she does her aerial art stuff, and basically this carabiner will just clip onto the boot of the car, and then I can unclip this, and then my dog can be tied to the back of the van. That carabiner, I believe it can take about 20, I don't know what it is, but it can take a lot of power. It's designed to hold girls up when they're slinging around on silks and hoops and that, so it's a very powerful clip. It can take all of it that it needs, and like I say, if I just want to clip the dog up to the back of the van whilst I'm doing something, I know that my dog's not going to be able to go anywhere. And then we have collars. So I have 3 collars for my dog. I've got this flat red one, which is like his everyday pet collar. It has his tag on there, and that's the collar that he will be wearing around the house or something like that. It's not one to be worked, it's not really one to be walked. This is more just like an ID collar that he'll just wear on his day-to-day. And then I have his slip chain. So this is a Hearn Springer slip chain. This is for kind of obedience and training, but like I say, this is more for obedience. If we're going out for a walk and I want the dog to be more obedient, if we're going into a town or whatever it is, this collar will give me the best control over the dog. And obviously, if I need to work on his obedience, or if we're out on a walk and his obedience isn't great, this is obviously a training tool to him. So for him, this lead represents sort of training close hill walking, where like the other flat collars, although I can get him to walk kind of to hill, he understands that collar is a collar that we use for patrolling, and when he has a little bit more space, and he can go to full length of the lead. So yeah, this Hearn Springer, it's a training tool, but yeah, it's something that I'll walk him on if I want to go into town and make sure that I've got the most control over him. As I've said before, my dog's fine with other dogs and people, but you never know what someone's going to do, and I'd rather have a collar like this on if someone done something stupid or some kids were messing around and the dog had a little bit of a reaction towards it. And then we have his main collar. So this is his work collar, CPR K9. So this is his main work collar. I got this off Gard K9 Collars, I think they are on Instagram. I'll put a link down below to their Instagram. Gard K9 Collars, this is his working. Obviously I've got a handle on it. You can get these without the handle. I've got a handle on mine just in case I need to grab something, or he's just wearing this collar and I need to grab him. Having that handle is just like a little bit extra. It's got a butterfly clip, very strong clip. I don't know if it says anything on here about it. No, not particularly, but yeah, it's a butterfly clip. Obviously has a chunky ring on it as well. But yeah, this is like his normal, this is his working collar. This is one he'll wear at work. Again, just the same as like the clips on the leads. The butterfly clip is designed to take the power and the intensity that goes through the collar and the clip. So yeah, this is the one that I use, and this is the one that he works. And then just a couple of other things. You all right, mate? You okay? Good lad. Just a couple of other things. So this is a 5 meter line that I can strap him up to. Let's say I want to strap him up to the back of the van and give him 5 meters. Let's say we went to somewhere for the day, and I wanted just to have him around the van. I can just strap him up. I'll say that's 5 meters. This is a recall line. Most people would have seen this. This is just for training. And to be honest with you, he's probably outgrown that now. I wouldn't even attempt to do anything with that. Again, it's got like the pet clip on it. So he's probably outgrown that, but it's good for if someone needs to borrow one, or when I get my next dog, I've already got the recall on. And then lastly, I have his harness. So his harness, this is used for kind of tracking. Now, tracking is a level 3. So on NASDU, I'm level 2. Level 3 is the next thing. Tracking is what is part of that. So it's not necessarily something I need, but we do like to do some tracking at training just for like practice and things like that. And like I say, I always think it's handy to have anyway. This is just a Julius K9 harness. It's nothing special. Like I say, I don't do anything too much for it, because the reason that I don't do patrols or I won't do protection work through this is that when I want to use this harness for tracking, it'll probably be tracking someone that's lost, or it'll be tracking someone vulnerable. And what I would like to do is probably do some more tracking and work on this being a non-volatile thing. So when the dog finds someone whilst he's wearing his harness, he won't do a standoff, or he won't do what he would normally do on a patrol. So like I say, it's not something I really use too much, but it's something good to have. But yeah, like I say, that's why I don't do patrols or protection work in this, is because if I was to use this for tracking, it would be someone that's vulnerable or someone that's missing, and the last thing I want to do is do like a tracking search for someone and then my dog go up and do a confrontation standoff. That's why I always use the working collar for protection work and for patrols as well. So that is everything to do with leads and collars that I have. Now, if there's something that I'm missing, please let me know in the comments, if it's something obviously important. But yeah, that's everything that I have and the reasons why I use them. Like I say, we use certain leads for certain things, and I think something that become quite obvious whilst I was away is that the reasons that we use these collars and these leads is because they're the best way for us to walk our dogs, or for us to keep our dogs under control. My dad was using a retractable lead whilst we was away, and the dog ended up pulling him over. But the reason that the dog ended up pulling him over was because the 8 metre retractable lead gave my dog enough time to build up speed that when the dog hit the end of the lead, there was nowhere for my dad to go. So that's the reason that I use a 6 foot lead, because I know he can't get up any speed in order to sort of pull me over. I'm not saying that he couldn't pull me over if I was caught unawares, especially on a site like this that is uneven, but that's the best way in order for me to have the dog under control. Like I say, the slip chain or the slip lead is for just to try and have the most control over the dog. It's not something that I use all the time, but if I was going to a town or whatever, then I would obviously use that to be able to have the most control over the dog. Working collar, and then obviously the long line if I want to tie him up. I think the carabiner on the back on the white lead is good, because you know that when you tie your dog up, you're tying your dog up to something that could take the force if he was to try and hit the end of the lead. But yeah, like I say, that's all collars and leads. If you've got any comments, make sure you put them down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and oh yeah, I'll see you next time. See you next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.